Okay. As I'm new at this, hopefully we do okay.
You're doing awesome.
Thank you, ma'am. Let me get this. Turn the volume up. How's everyone doing? Ready for the holidays?
Getting there.
Lots of things going on, right?
Well, and Brandi, I have to do the shout out to the post the other day where you were saying I'm a list maker. And that's one of the things. I'm a list maker too, but I don't know about you if you get overwhelmed at any particular time. And it was like, okay, I've got the list. Now let's just start eating the elephant and doing it one bite at a time. Because sometimes that list has a list within just the description. And I was like, okay, I'm not the only one that's freaking out right now.
No, I'm such a pen and paper person. I know everybody goes, computer and calendars and notes, and that's not me. Like, I have to see it on paper. I have to be able to cross it off. I have planners and I use them for a couple of weeks thinking I'm going to do more, but I never do. So if anyone else is feeling the way that I am, then I need to let everybody know like what the plan. And I love Karen's idea of the just 20 minutes. 20 minutes, set an alarm when it seems very daunting and see how far you get. If at the end of 20 minutes you're done, it's not doing it for you, then turn it off, let it go. But if it is, most of the time you're like, in it, I'm almost done. So,
It's exactly, it's that way, but it's that way with anything you feel overwhelmed, if you'll just walk away from it,
absolutely. Yeah.
it's, and I think each one, we're hard on ourselves. And I really think that I've got to get this done, but you forget what the mental impact of that pressure is. And just to give yourself grace and say, you know what, 20 minutes today, setting an alarm, I'm going to jump off or I'm going to keep going. It just gives you options, or even if it's like, okay, I'm doing a project and I was posting in a fundraiser group last night and I decided it was time to go to bed because I kept posting the same post without scheduling it like 10 times. And it's like, it's time to go to bed and do this in the morning because obviously
that's right. That's right. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us today. Let's do like Ariel does and do our wins for the week or our shout outs for ourselves. Edie, do you want to go first?
Oh, I'd love to. Thank you. I was thinking because you can have so many wins for the week, what you're celebrating, and something resonated this week with me. We all hopped on Monday, maybe got or didn't get what we were anticipating, but I had two of my VIPs do two separate things after I had reached them out and said, I'm disappointed for you. You do your standard cover up, you refund or whatever you need to do. And one that evening put a post of a saying that says, this reminds me of our Edie, which, wow, you're running your VIP group to feel accepted. The other one called and said, well, that's a bummer because I was going to do this for a white elephant teacher gift for the school I work for. So I need your help. And she ended up even ordering more than the $40. But she wanted the person that she drew for the white elephant, it's supposed to be a white elephant secret Santa. She said she loved this teacher loves camping and she just thought it would be so perfect. And she says, bonus is it's $20 and my gift will be bigger than anybody else. But we worked it out. And it's just knowing that your customers support you even when you deliver bad news. Look for those little moments in your journey as a consultant, because that's the first time it's happened to me. I was really scared to tell them, sorry, no go. But they were all so kind and loving. I loved it. So that's what I'm celebrating. It's just awesome people that have lifted me up besides this group, which are my VIPs.
Nice. They're so much more accepting than we think that they will be. I've had to deliver bad news before too, and they get it. They know we're doing our best for them. They know we deliver good customer service, and stuff just happens. Like, there was such a good deal. I mean, they had to expect it. And if you set the proper expectations prior that
Mm-hmm.
you're going to do your best, but it may not happen, then it's not so much of a letdown. Of course, it's a little bit of a letdown no matter what. But if we can just pivot and offer even better customer service, finding them something else, then it's just, a win-win for everybody. So I get in my own head and think, oh man, these customers are going to be so mad at me. They needed this for their friend or this for a teacher gift or whatever. But they get it. We're human. They know that it's not in our control. So that's awesome that you were able to spin it and help her out, and she even worked more. So it worked out to even more of both of your benefits. So
Mm-hmm.
awesome. Anybody else want to go?
I'll go. And I was going to say, like, that what you just said too, Brandi, after I didn't get any of my spend, but I got all my Olafs. My husband woke up right after I got back to bed that night and he's like, "Oh, did you get all your orders?" I said, "No, I only got half of it." And now I'm really upset because I think everybody's going to cancel if they find out they can't get their spend and Olaf. Nobody canceled their Olafs. So I was stressing myself out for absolutely no reason. So you're right. Like, they understand that we do what we can and we just can't do everything sometimes. But my win for this week, I am celebrating. Well, I'm a little bit early, but by tonight, by the time I wake up tomorrow, I will have level 1 in the bag. And I'm really excited because I did not get there last year. So now I just gotta hustle towards 2. But I'm really proud of myself, even though it's not like a whole trip. I'm still so proud. And then also I'm halfway through my fundraiser. It's not going as well as I wanted, so I'm trying to brainstorm ways that won't cost me any more money out of pocket, that I can help them get a lot more for their school. So, because I've already kind of put a lot more than I anticipated towards a fundraiser, but big one for my first one. I'm learning a lot.
Awesome. Congratulations. Level 1 is huge. Getting even that far is fantastic. And we still have of December and all of January. So level 2 is coming your way.
Yeah.
With your fundraiser. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, I got excited when I woke up to my consistency points this morning. I was like, woohoo. Yeah.
Awesome.
Kaylin,
So
Brandi, can I add something, since I'm currently doing a fundraiser that's gone crickets since Thanksgiving?
Of course.
I reached out to the person that's chairing it and said, "So what can we do to pop it?" And I have purchased a couple of fun things from clearance sections just to have on hand. And I said, "What would you do if we pushed them to this level, your next increment?" And I offered a surprise. So I'm taking something that I have on hand that and one of them was going to be a Christmas present, and I was like, well, the person just purchased it, so I was kind of stuck with it. I was like, wow, somebody had the same, we thought alike. It's an in-law that purchases from me. And I was kind of bummed, but I was like, what am I going to do with it? And the chairman of it went, "I think maybe that's the push," just because, and I try to deflect when they say that people are on a budget, because I know they are. And I said, well, instead of saying, well, yeah, I get that, I said, well, why don't we do this? And I said, I have this beautiful warmer on hand that I basically got for nothing, that I would love to offer it to the person that puts us over the top. And at that point, we negotiated the benchmark of how much they wanted to raise for their fundraiser, because they were, when they initially started it, way out. And I said, I'm going to start you here. And we hit that benchmark, and we're just like 2 cells away from hitting this next increment. So I'm hoping it works. It excited them because they were getting bummed that they weren't, because I give them a every 3-day report, and oh, look, you did this, oh, look, you did that. And then it was like, no, well, look at this way. They're seeing the posts, but no sales. We need to come up with ideas, and they don't always have ideas on their side to do that kind of thing. It could even be a bundle of bars that you have ordered in your club. You know, it's just something to give back. It could be, you know, a $17 bar bundle. If
Yeah.
you could do that, because I get it with what they're saying, but man, if I could teach anybody out there in the world, you're helping someone, and everybody says help this if you can, help that if you can. Helping kids at a school is so important. They need so many tools, and I just wish I could shake that public tree and go, wake up. This is our future. So, you know, I get it. So I just wanted to toss that out because I was having that same dilemma coming out of Thanksgiving with my fundraiser. And at least I got a spark. I ignited something with them. And again, it's something I feel I can do when I do the delivery and just make it big and pretty, you know, so make a fuss over the winter. I just hope it works for them. I mean, but it's up to them.
I reached out. The principal is a customer of mine, and she loves the fragrance flowers. So I told her, I said, you know, hey, you know, I know you're not as far as you want to be this first week, and I really want to help you get to your goal. So maybe if you let the teachers know that I'll give, like, I am already doing top 5 sellers get a buddy, but if then the teachers that have a top seller are going to get a fragrance flower. So I figured like that would be, you know, my half off items, plus then get a couple of like the cheaper, like the dashing duo buddy, depending on if it's a boy or girl that is the top 5, and just try to minimize my expense there, but still be able to offer an incentive for the teachers to be texting and sharing out with the parents too. So,
and
Yeah.
they are doing the exact same thing when it went crickets slightly before I was seeing a downward trend. And I said, hey, you guys have got great rewards. And they've already done that for the girls that are selling. So I just wanted to do something to see if we could reach some outside of the group to see, you know, share your link. And they were really excited that, you know, like the fragrance flower. I didn't even think of that. That's why these calls are so important. I'm now kicking myself in the head, but
yeah, like $20 real quick, that $22 that will give 3 gifts. So,
yep.
So
We'll
do
see.
you use your rewards? Are you going to use your rewards for the prizes, Caitlin?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, don't do out of pockets. Is the rewards at the end of the fundraiser. I use it for that.
And if I
Okay.
have enough on hand stock, like after my holiday market that's coming up, then I'll just pull from that because I have several flowers on hand. But like if not, then I'm just going to use all my rewards for them.
Nice. Well, good. Hopefully it goes good for you guys. First fundraisers are always a little touchy. And I will say right now, I feel like a lot of people aren't spending as much. My fundraiser, I do one every twice a year for the same school, and this one just did not do well. And everyone's kind of holding on to their money a little bit more. So don't give up on them though. They're fun once they get going.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Anybody else have any wins this week, or Angie or Maggie?
I have been solo all week. My husband's been out of town, so I don't know that mine's necessarily related. I mean, I'm getting ready for my holiday open house this weekend, so I need to get all of my bundles started. I went and got all the supplies, but this afternoon I'm going to start making up all the bundles. So that'll be that's kind of how I like end my year, is with that open house. But honestly, my win is just that I have survived this week because I'm solo and I have a sick kid, dog, and my cleaning lady just left, so it's a good day. But that's just going to be my, because it's all I got right now.
You are super mom. Honestly, 6 kiddos by yourself is just, I don't know how you do it. I admire you for that, because I can't. Sometimes with 2, I'm like, oh, I can't do this. So 6, you're fantastic. And that elf has been doing some really cool stuff at your house.
Yeah.
He is cool. He's a cool little dude. Awesome. Hi, Cynthia. Angie, got something?
I do have something. I've done my first buddy drive, and it has went way better than than what I anticipated. I've giving to the Children's Advocacy Center here in Johnson County, and it's really helped them a lot because they are still looking for gifts for 2 or 3 more kids that came in, after they already had their drive for it. And so not only is it helping them that way, they also give out buddies for each kid that comes through, has an option to go in and, just to have something to cuddle with after their trauma that they've been through. And so I'm really excited. Next Tuesday, I'm going to go deliver their buddies, and I'm so excited.
That's fantastic. That is amazing.
So my shout out to myself.
Woo-hoo. Maggie actually, oh, go ahead, Maggie.
Sorry, Angie, are you in Texas?
Yes.
Oh, okay. You said Johnson County, and that's like not terribly far from us. Our old caseworker actually, I do a buddy drive every year too. That's probably what Brandi is about to say. We had extras because of the new laws in Texas last year. There's a lot less removals. So numbers are way down here, which is not necessarily a good thing, but that's a whole nother story. But numbers are way down. So we had a ton of extras from the county that I live in, and I live in Denton County. And our old caseworker just moved to Johnson County, and she came and picked up a bunch of buddies for all of her kiddos. So that's interesting that you said that you were doing it with the Advocacy Center. I love them. They have actually handled my son's case, the criminal case. So big fan of the Advocacy Center. That's who we donated our commissions to I donated my commissions to from our buddy drive, but to the Denton County one. So that's awesome.
Okay, thank you.
That is awesome. You inspired me, Maggie, to do a buddy drive too. That's what all those boxes back there are. We're going next week too. I did for Phoenix Children's Hospital, and I did it for the mental health department. And it was actually really cool. We, a whole nother story, but my brother suffered from mental health. He's not here with us anymore. So it's really something that really speaks to my heart. And I got a lot of buddies, but I also got a lot of the bitty buddies for the older kids. There's a lot of 10, 11, 12, 13-year-olds, and they might not necessarily carry around a buddy with them, but if they can have that little stress ball. And that hit that flash sale where they were like $1.20. I had so many customers donate, like 20, 40, 60 of them. So and my old work donated $500 worth of buddies. So it was my first buddy drive, and I'm super excited. But it's really something that you find that thing that speaks to your heart. And we're doing one for the Phoenix PD like in the spring, and they'll keep them in their cars and stuff. So Maggie, you have inspired a lot of people, I'm sure, but I will say, watching your buddy drives over the past couple of years, I was like, you know what, I need to do that too. And I'm donating my commissions to the Phoenix Children's Hospital as well. So thank you for teaching us all how to give back. And that would be my win today, is the buddy drive. It started out slow. I started it a couple months ago, and just that constant sharing and the constant why I'm doing it really brought a lot of people into us, and really, got the focus on the hospital and the children. And so ended up being really good. So I'm excited to do that tomorrow as well. Or not tomorrow, next week. Sorry. Cynthia, do you have anything? I know you might be on the phone or busy. Let me pull up what.
I think she put it in the chat, but I'm on
She did. She had a pop-up event last weekend at Burn Boot Camp. One of her friends works out there and invited her to have a table. So she said that it was pretty successful. I chatted with her the other day about it.
Awesome. She said she was very nervous and forgot a few things, but was still able to get items out. Here's the thing with presenting or anything. They don't know what you left out or what you missed or what your speech was. I tell all of my girls, like, nobody has any idea what you're supposed to say. It's not a test. It's not you're not being graded on this. There's so many times when I've gone to a party and I left and I'm like, I totally forgot to eat. Who cares? Nobody knows. Nobody knows what you're saying. Nobody knows what you were supposed to say. So as long as you show up and you give your best, that's all that matters. So fantastic win. I love it. So we'll move into what Ariel kind of wanted to talk about. I don't know if you saw in the Nomad page, it was about losing your spark. So it says, I'm hearing a lot of people who are trying to fall back in love with your direct sales business. What brought you in at the start? She says, it's kind of like a relationship. Over time, the novelty wears off. What was it that you saw when you signed up and what changed? How can you get back to that first date feeling? And then sometimes it's just that this isn't it, but more often than not, what you experience is normal and usually a byproduct of not dating enough and not communicating enough. In business terms, you just didn't stay connected enough and didn't stay consistent. And it says, how do you feel about this? And that really resonated with me. Sometimes we get burnout, especially around the holidays, right? I mean, you've got your family stuff, your Christmas shopping, you're trying to hit your sales. We've got an incentive. It just feels a little overwhelming. And I know like by January, I feel that burnout. And so what was that spark when you first joined that you kind of maybe got away from in the last, I mean, I know 4 years, Maggie, I think, what are you at, 10, 11? You have to keep it going. And I know we've talked about this before. There's hills and valleys. And when you're in that valley, like where was your spark? Do you go back to your beginning, like your why? Is that still relevant today? And my why 4 years ago is not my why now. And it wasn't my why last year. And it wasn't my why 2 years ago. So how do we get that spark? How can we help our teams? How can we help each other find that spark again? And what do you do to keep that spark going or to reconnect with that spark?
I'll go. So as Brandi said, I have been a consultant for 10 and a half years. It'll be 11 years in February, which is crazy. And no, my why now is not at all the same as it was then, or even 5 years ago, 2 years ago. It changes all the time. It's supposed to change because life changes, and my life looks very different than it did 10 years ago. So what I saw though when I first joined was an opportunity to help pave a path to a better life for my kids. I was determined to not struggle like everybody told me that we would. And I just was not going to be resolved to what other people were telling me that I was going to be. I just wasn't content with that at all. A lot of it, I think, was kind of a prove everybody wrong kind of thing. And I did that a long time ago, but I still see it as an opportunity. And it's been an opportunity for things that I didn't even understand. Like, I didn't know about incentive trips. I could not have even fathomed having a 5-figure paycheck at the time. Like, that was not something that it was even on my radar. But looking back over, the last 10 years, I've been able to do things and experience things that I never would have without Cincy. And so even on the days when, because this is my job, like there are days when this is a job, I still love it. Like, I absolutely love it. I cannot even fathom my life without Cincy. It's walking away has never even been something that I've considered, but there are days when it is a job and there are things that I have to do that I don't necessarily want to do. And it is monotonous sometimes. And there maybe isn't a spark in all the day-to-day, but thinking about all the things that it has afforded me and my family and my children specifically, all the experiences that we've gotten to have that we never would have. I got to go to Africa. Like, what? I mean, you just don't get to do things like that otherwise. I never would have done half the things that I've done in the last 10 years without Cincy. And like, I can't at all just say that my life is the way that it is because of Cincy and Cincy alone. I mean, my husband has worked his butt off too, and has really climbed the ladder in his job too. We both have worked very hard to get to where we are. But I know that like, we wouldn't be able to live the way that we live without Cincy, even with my husband's amazing job. We wouldn't have had the experiences without Cincy. So on the days when it doesn't feel super fun or awesome or bright and shiny. Sorry, my birds are being very loud right now. I remember all the things that I've done that I never would have gotten to do. And if I've done all of that in the last 10 years, there's so much more waiting for me in the next 10 years. So that's kind of how I keep things going. It's more of like a constant flame rather than a spark. You know, you just kind of figure out how to keep the flame going rather than having it be like a big, huge, you know, spark all the time. It's not always fireworks, but like, it's more of like a campfire. It's always warm and we can make it bigger and room for more people, kind of like Orville's talk that he had, but it's not always going to be magic and fireworks and all this exciting stuff, because it does become a job that you want it to be, you know?
Love that. You know, when I started, it was purely to get a discount on the stuff I was buying. I had discovered Scentsy. Ariel had asked me for a year to join. I'm not new to direct sales. I've done multiple, and it, you know, it was, I'm just buying it. Why not? You know, get my 20-25% back. And so that was really my why. And there was nothing more to that. And then I had my first launch party and it was $1,300. And I thought, oh, so this can be something more. So then it was just a little bit of extra money. It was my spending money. It was my lashes. It was my pedicures. It wasn't anything even for the family. And then once I got pregnant with my second kid, it was a complete game changer. I did not want to go to work to pay for 2 daycares. I mean, a baby and daycare is a ton of money. Even working part-time 3 days a week, we were paying $800 for my daughter to go 3 days a week. And so I thought, you know what? I'm doing okay. Maybe I can make this something where I stay home. And so I promised my husband and myself that I would hit 2,000 every single month, because that would guarantee me a $600 paycheck, which I was bringing about $750 home after paying for daycare. And then it kept building. And so I like how you called it a campfire and like a flame, because there is a spark. There's that aha moment. I will say that when I went to my first SFR, it was seeing the possibilities. I said, I will be a director next year. And I did. So there's steps along the way that build that flame and make it go higher. My husband now is all about the incentive trips. Like you said, in my wildest dreams, I never thought I could earn a trip, ever, ever, ever. I never thought I would ever hit any kind of level like that. And I earned registration for SFR the very first time. And that's why I went to SFR. And it was being there, seeing those possibilities. So there was another little, you know, another log on the fire. My husband seeing the possibilities, us earning Disney World, another little log. And now he is 100% all in. And if you guys knew my husband, I go to the dunes. That's my vacation. We go 4 times a year. That is what his life. When I met him, I said I wanted to travel the world. And he said, nope, I want to go to the dunes. That is it. And now he has, within 10 years, seen what Scentsy can do. So now he's like, okay, you know, we earned Alaska. We didn't go to it. But now he's like, okay, we're going on a cruiser. We're going to Mexico. Like, where are we at? What do I need to do? And so there's another log. And then my kids are now Scentsy kids. I mean, they smell all the wax. When an order comes in, they fight to go get it off the porch. They want to share their loves. So it's just, you know, you just keep building. But I like what this post said, because it's like a relationship. And if you don't keep dating your spouse, that fire dies down. And the same with Scentsy. If you don't keep dating it, per se, if you don't keep fueling that fire and going back to what it was that got you here or what you're fighting for, it can die, and it can seem like it's not the place for you anymore. And that's, you know, that's a terrible thing to even think about. Scentsy, like, Scentsy's going to be here forever for me. It's never going anywhere. But it's fueling that fire. And I just lost what I was going to say though. My brain is not working, you guys. I have not been sleeping well, but I saw Kaylin posted in the chat. So let's see what she said. I had tried 2 other businesses that failed quickly because of my lack of knowledge and passion. Scentsy is truly different. You know what? It really is, because I've done a few, more than 2. And I didn't have the support that Scentsy gives. I didn't have the connection that we got here. And I know, you know, we're all in it for ourselves, but at the same time, like, I really feel like there is that group connection. There's room for everybody. And I never went to trainings. I never went to the conventions for the other groups. And now, like, I won't miss those for the world. Like, that is where I get more logs for that fire to fuel that flame. So I'm glad you said that. They do have such a support system, and it's such an exciting place to be. And you want to be a part of it more. Anybody else want to share their spark or their log?
I will. Why not? I started Cincy at the beginning of COVID. So I didn't get to go to any of the events that they put on. I mean, it was terrible because I had to sit in a motel room or in my house and watch watch on TV. But this last year when we went to Salt Lake, I went to Salt Lake. That was the most coolest thing ever. Okay. I was going, oh my God, look how many of us there is. And look at all of this, it was awesome. So if somebody on here's not gone to one, you got to go to one, at least one. Because once you go to one, you're going to go to them all. It doesn't matter if you win it or not, you're going to go. So my why is I was retiring and I wanted something to keep my mind, my body busy. Because I'm not a sit down and do nothing type. I like to get up and move around, meet people. So I'm just in the right place. That's all there is to it. Because I love meeting all these people, and my community is a small community. I'm in Cleburne, and it's a smaller community, but I have met so many people since I've been doing Cincy you wouldn't believe. Because when I first moved here 9 years ago, I knew no one from here, no one. And now my Facebook page is full of people that I know from here. And it's just so much, it's so rewarding, I guess is the word I'm looking for. But my why now is to help my community, to help me and my husband get along, because we're both on Social Security. And right now it's just not paying. But I mean, Cincy is like, to me, home. It's a home. It's not just a business. It's not just a salesy stuff. It's a home. And I have all these families everywhere, all across the world. I have a family, and all across my community, I have a family. It is awesome. I love my Cincy. I love everything about Cincy. I love all of the decor they come out with, the scents they come out with. It's just a all around win for me. I guess that's all.
I love that. I talk to my team a lot about that exact thing. I have a couple of girls, always as leaders, we focus on numbers and things like that. It's just a natural part of the business, but I really try to focus on the more personal aspects. I have a couple of girls that are truly in it for the community only. They are not there the paychecks. Of course, that's a bonus for them, but it is really just to have a connection. Sometimes as moms, we get lost in that day to day. We not lose, but we, move away from the friends that we saw more often. My girlfriend and I used to work together. We saw each other all the time. Now we don't see each other as much. We still love each other, but we just don't have that connection there. She's busy with baseball. I'm busy with cheer. We get lost in it. And so I feel like Sensi gives me even these 1 hour connections, it gives me that connection with friends. And so I really try to tell my team and my girls, like, maybe it's not money. Maybe it's not hitting sales every single week or month or listing all those specials. It's who you're meeting along the way. I have so many friends. You said your friends, your Facebook page is filled. And I was just looking the other day and it caught me really off guard because I have 700 and something friends. Never in my life would I have ever thought I had 700 something friends. So I started looking through them because I'm like, are these just random people that added me? And so many of them were people that I met through Sensi. And it's like, wow, like I would have never known this many people. I mean, I probably would have had 200 people from school, my family, a couple friends, but it's so much more than just selling something. And I don't consider it sales. And that's what a lot of people that start, they're like, well, how are you such a good salesperson? And I'm like, I don't sell, like, I can't sell. I worked for University of Phoenix. I was an enrollment counselor. I left because I could not enroll anybody into school. So I am not a salesperson, but I'm sharing what I love. I'm showing them how my family works, how we use it. When I meet people at an event, or, everybody that I know, my husband's like, you talk about Scentsy all the time. I'm like, it's just a natural part of life. And I don't even bring it up. People are like, hey, I saw you sell Scentsy. How's this going? It's just by sharing it. And so having 700 and something friends, and I'm not saying that like, ooh, I have these friends, but I've met them through SFR, like people that I've never even met, but connected with through a YouTube that they made or whatever. And they know who I am. And it's not just like, oh, we added each other. I had met someone at a world tour in 19 before they got canceled. She came and did a speech. Kelly Rashaw, if you guys know her, I know Maggie does. She's one of my absolute favorite people. If you can follow her, follow her. But she did a presentation. She really resonated with me, and I followed her. I added her to Facebook. And then at SFR this last time, I went up to introduce myself, and she's like, oh, you're on my Facebook. Like, lady has thousands of people, but she sees my post. Like, so we had a connection already, and she messages me now, and we built that relationship. Like, I never thought I would know Kelly Rashad. I never thought I would know Maggie. She did a post on Scentsy Club and how she has 4,000 PRV at the start of the month. Like, and then I met her in Texas, and I'm like, I know you. Like, so it's these connections that you get, and it's so much more than just selling Scentsy. I mean, that's a bonus, obviously, but I love that you said, meeting these people and all of that. So thank you for sharing.
Does anybody feel like maybe their fire has gotten a little bit warmer, even just hearing this, right? Hearing about how other people, like what their spark is and what keeps them going, and the things that Scentsy has afforded them. Like, sometimes you just need to get in with community and hear about, other people's blessings, and to remind you of how it's blessed you. So again, it kind of goes back to that whole campfire thing. Like, sometimes being around other people and seeing their spark will help you light yours again. And I think that, Angie, kind of what you were saying about 2020 and how we were so separated for so long. So many people don't even know what it's like to be at an event. This is going to be our first world tour coming up that we've had in a very long time. And I'm so excited for it. I know you Arizona people don't have your location yet. Well, not talking about that. I don't really know what's going on there. But I just think that we're going to see a real shift, because there has been a pretty big disconnect for a long time, because when you're not around others to be able to, let that spark travel, because that's what happens. Like, I actually wasn't feeling any kind of way about my business before coming onto this call, but being able to share what Scentsy's done for me and hearing what Scentsy has done for y'all, like, I've got all the warm and fuzzies now, just because, like, it's amazing. Like, other people can't say this. Other companies can't say these same things. Like, Scentsy's not the same. It's just not. Our products are relevant and amazing. Like, I smell my bars every time I get them. I just sat here smelling Sunkissed Citrus that's sitting right here. Like, I smelled that bar 7,000 times, but I still pick it up every time I see it. It's just habit, it brings joy. It's not the same as a company that, sells jewelry or clothes or bags or whatever, because you don't need more of it. You know what I mean? You can only have so much. So it does make a difference what kind of company you join. And the way that it adds value to other people's lives, like talking about these buddy drives, regardless of what organization you're donating to, you are enhancing the life of somebody else that you're never going to meet, but you're making a difference for them. Like, our job allows us to do that. Talking about the incentive trips, I traveled quite a bit growing up. And had been to multiple different countries when my husband and I got married, but he didn't ever have a passport until we were together and we started traveling with Scentsy. And you know, that kind of lit a fire for him, and he went and got an international business degree. He got his MBA in international business and has international contracts that he works on now. Like he just landed a huge, like multi-million-dollar contract for Mercedes International for his company because of a spark that was ignited with Scentsy. Like, think about that. It is a butterfly effect for all kinds of people. And it's not even just me. Like there are dozens and dozens of people on our team that have been affected by Scentsy. So sometimes it just takes being asked a question like that and hearing even other people's answers to, again, reignite that flame. So I don't know, it kind of, anybody have a gas stove? I have a gas stove, and you have to have that like spark first before the actual flame, and then you can adjust the temperature or whatever. But sometimes you just need to turn it up a little bit, and sometimes somebody else can do that for you. But I really feel like people that walk away from this business do it because they don't have others to help them get that flame going again. So it's really important to lean into your community in one way or another. And I'm not always fantastic about that because we have a lot going on at our house. And so there are days that I'm better about that than others, but you know, we have an opportunity to show people what this business can do for you. Like our lives are a walking billboard for the opportunities that Scentsy can provide for us. So don't ever stop sharing, because I know sometimes I can get in a rut and be like, I don't really feel like I've already shared this week, or maybe I shouldn't share this today or what. No, it is rude to not share the gift of Scentsy. It's rude. So keep sharing. You don't have to be like, pushy about it, but live that lifestyle of recruiting, and people will want to join. They will want to be part of it because we have something that other people don't have.
100%. I've had so many of my team members come to me. I'm not an amazing recruiter. That is definitely something I need to work on. But I have started offering the opportunity more than just join my team. But I've had so many of my team members see the things that we are doing and they want to do it. One of my really, really good friends ordered from me for years and said, I want to be your forever travel partner. Like, I want to go on these trips with you. Okay, I've got a free kit. Let's go. And it's such, they see what you're doing. And like you said, it's rude to not share it. And I was very, I coveted my rewards for a while because I wanted to build up all of my stuff and I didn't want to pay for my Scentsy. And then once I started talking to other people, other successful people, it was share that gift. And it truly is a gift. And you could be the spark for someone else to change their entire life. You could be that spark by just offering that discounted kit, that host kit, that free kit, if you have it, flipping that party, if it's, if you can like get them started. And I love sharing with them like, oh, you got a free kit, but guess what? You're also going to get $100 paycheck or $120 paycheck right now. And it's such, you can see that like little light go on. But you're right. I love reading other people like throughout my pages when they start sharing why they did this or what Scentsy did for them or what Scentsy allowed their family or they paid off medical debt or whatever. And it's so much more than wax and warmers. And we say that so much and it almost seems like it's redundant, but it's not. It is so much more than wax and warmers. It is affording people a lifestyle they never thought they would have. It's affording people the opportunity to meet new people, to get new friends, to travel, whatever it may be. World Tour is, we don't have a location yet, but we know it's in Phoenix. We're planning a retreat, and because it's in Phoenix, I have been pumping it up because a lot of my team joined during COVID. Just like Angie, you needed something to do. You were sitting at home. I feel like everyone was looking at their cabinets. We were trying to get our house painted. And the guy's like, I'm 12 weeks out because everyone's sitting at home and they realize that their house needs work. So like we were just sitting at home doing nothing and we had that extreme hypergrowth. And so a lot of my team doesn't know this connection. They have the connection to me. They have the connection to our small little team, but they have no idea what Scentsy really is when we all get together and start connecting with each other. So I have been pushing it so hard, and I've had the past, I haven't had anybody come to any SFRs or any world tours, and I think I've got 8 coming. And so I'm so excited to show them like what we are all about, like what Scentsy is. Like, drink that purple Kool-Aid, because we are here and we are ready to let you grow and ignite that spark for you. So it is exciting to listen to everybody's story. Cynthia posted, she was a customer for 6 years, obsessed before becoming a kidnapper. I didn't think about selling it even when I snagged it, but once I was able to share and see how others loved it just as much, it became a special part. It's something the kids, the hubby, and I all love, and it holds so many special moments in the relationship we built with other Scentsy people and now customers. It's not a high seller. I'm not a high seller, but it's a feeling so strong. And it really is. It's that warm, fuzzy feeling of helping someone get a beautiful gift or meet new people or scent memories. I have a friend, she's been a friend forever, and Scarlet Sunflower, last year she got it, and she called me immediately and was like, this is my grandparents' house. This is the smell I grew up in. So we started a club. It's in everything. She bought a bunch of the lotions, a bunch, the special that came out. Like, and now she shares it in my VIP group every time she warms it. Like, I'm going back to my grandparents' house. They're both gone. And it's like, to be able to do that for someone is just amazing. And I love it. Anybody else have their spark, their why, their so what I was going to tell you too is I go in, I don't know if anybody else does this, but I go to my director or your story about me in your website, and I update it, because I just looked at it the other day and it says I've been a director, I just hit director, and I've been a Scentsy consultant for 3 years or whatever. And I'm like, that is so outdated. And so you put your why, and doing that, I try to do it every like 6 months to a year, and it gets me thinking about why I'm doing this. And it gets me thinking about the business and about my family, because you're writing your little bio in there. And so I suggest, if you haven't updated yours, go in there and rewrite the whole thing, because I can guarantee it's different from when you first started. Because mine was, oh, I just hit director a few months ago and I've been doing this for 3 years and I'm, able to stay home with my family. And so I need to go in there and update it, because it's not about staying home anymore. It's not about being a director, there's so much more. So go in there. I encourage you guys to go in and change your story and see how much has changed since you first created that. Let's see what else she said. Communicating business terms. So I've noticed, so it says in business terms, you just didn't stay connected enough and didn't stay consistent. I have noticed in my own personal business, when I'm not posting, when I'm not sharing, my sales go away. My engagement in my VIP group goes away. My stress levels of not hitting, because for me, I have to hit the 2000. Like, it's just a goal. I have never not hit it since I left September of 19. I have never not hit 2000, because that is what I promised myself and my family, that I would do that. And so when I'm not sharing, when I'm not consistent, when I stopped dating Scentsy, I've noticed it. And then that panic sets in and that stress sets in. Anybody else have that? Like, if you notice, like, there's that drop off, if you're not sharing, if you're not posting, if you're not even just connecting with your customers. Hey, did you get your order? What do you think about it? Did you like that sample I sent you? If I'm not doing that on a consistent basis, then you slowly notice, and it doesn't take long. A week of not being consistent, you already start noticing that decline. Anybody else?
Yeah, absolutely. Because if you don't tell your customers about what's going on, either they're not going to know or they're going to find out. Because saturated is not, it's not a thing. But I guarantee you, they know another Scentsy consultant. So if you are not sharing, you don't have to go the balls to the wall and do a whole Google form every single LTO we have. You can just post a picture of it and say what's coming. You don't have to do the whole 9 yards for every single launch. You just don't. But if you don't tell them about it, either they won't know and can't buy, or they're going to find out from someone. So, there's a lot of times, you'll see people say, oh, well, I didn't have any sales. Well, did you share about did you send out an email to your customers? Did you post on your VIP page? Because if you don't tell them, they will not know. They cannot buy it if they don't know it. Last week I talked about the Spend Buddy and how many orders I ended up with, just posting the night before the sale. Well, I wouldn't have had those if I hadn't posted it. If they don't know about it, they can't buy it. If you post about it and they don't buy, that's not for lack of trying. At least you have tried. But you have to put in some effort. Like, it's not hard to sell Scentsy, but you do have to work at it. It does take effort. It does take work. So you can't just sit back and expect the sales to come. Just because somebody has bought from you one time does not mean that they're going to keep coming back to you, especially if you're not taking good care of them. If you're not thanking them for their order, if you're not, you don't have to send out happy mail. I choose to do that, but at least send like a text or a thank you card or something to acknowledge, to set yourself apart from, I don't know, Walmart, Bath and Body Works. Because if we don't put that personal touch, the difference, obviously our products are better, duh, but the main difference is us. We are the difference between Scentsy and a big box store. They could even go on Scentsy.com and find a random person, but why would they want to do that when they're getting that personal touch from you? They're going to continue choosing you. Give them a reason to choose you. So, when you don't create that personal relationship and give them a reason to want to come back, they're not going to. And that does make it really hard. So yeah, there's a direct correlation between effort and sales, not even necessarily being a salesman, being salesy, being pitchy, but just letting people know, because if they don't know about it, they can't buy it. And then you're the only one to blame for your paycheck. We have a direct impact on our paycheck. You can directly affect how much money you make every single month. Like Brandi said, I found out from the very beginning, my very first month, I had 2,000 PRV. Other than following the directions and doing a launch party and telling everybody that I knew that I had joined, which, like you're supposed to, I don't really have an explanation for how it happened. I didn't know better than I didn't know to be afraid of being told no. And I didn't know any different. So I just did what I was told. And I sold 2,000 PRV that month and I got a $600 paycheck, and that changed my life. And I've never not hit that from that point forward, because I knew what it could do for my family. And I was not willing to settle for any less than that, because it changed my life. And I had to keep doing that. I knew what it was going to do for us. So you get to decide. It's not an option for me to have less than that now. Yes, sir. 1 second.
How amazing is it that we get to decide our pay? I worked at an office, a dental office, and I cleaned kids' teeth, and my pay could not change no matter what I did. I could work super hard. I could not work at all. I was getting the same amount, no matter how much time and effort, no matter how good I did my job. Yes, of course, we have, reviews and annual raises, but what, a quarter, 3%, 8%, whatever they give you. And that's not to shame working people. I get it. They have a business to run. They have to fit that into their budget. But how cool is it that we can be in charge of how much we make? And, when people say it's a pyramid scheme, I get so frustrated, because I've stopped arguing with people, but it's not, because we are in control of how much we make. I don't need a team to make $600. I don't need a team to make $900. You sell 3,000, you're getting a $900 paycheck, period. Like, how cool is it that Scentsy gives us that opportunity? If we put in the work, we get the paycheck. We reap the benefits of it. Not only do you get free Scentsy, and not only can you change the lives
I
of
love
other
you.
people, you know, you get to change, you know, by helping your team grow and by, you know, sharing this opportunity and helping people create scent memories, we're changing lives. But how amazing that we get to be in charge of how much we make. So as much effort as you put in is how much you're going to get out of it. I just love that. I love that for everybody that's a part of Scentsy. I love that Scentsy gives us that opportunity.
Brandi, sorry about the little interruption. I am putting together my happy mail and just ran out of labels. So my husband is doing his loving kindness charity work for Cincy and running to get labels for me. But, you know, I couldn't agree more with what everybody is saying about what Cincy has given you. My best friend, Jess, who is a customer, last night we just called to chit chat like we do Wednesday chit chats about 9 o'clock. And the light bulb went on because I've been out. She works for the same insurance company, health insurance company that I retired and left years ago. And in listening to all this and to her story, and in a nutshell, she's at the age where she was offered a package, and I couldn't tell her, honey, you either take the package or they're going to let you go. They're going to thin the troops in 2023. But my head automatically went that, man, I love being with Cincy because I no longer have that worry in the corporate world that my job is going to get eliminated. The work's all on me. I mean, my heart just kind of broke for her that she hasn't seen that train coming down the track that I have seen so much when I was in the corporate world. Any job, I could almost tell you, well, they're going to send in a headhunter and they're going to do a cleanup here on aisle 5. I hated that feeling and that gut feeling. And yeah, I've been with Cincy over a year and a half, and I've never had that horrible gut wrenching feeling that my paycheck's going to go away, you know. And I've nudged her and teased her, and she doesn't. We've had the gentle conversations, and it's like, girl, you just need to take my free kit right now. I so much wanted to tell her that is take the offer, get out of there, it's stressing you out, and come be with me. But she's just not at that point because unfortunately, some of our customers, even if they're your best friend, they choose the harder path where this is just the path of least resistance. Grab it, you know. And it's to me, that is such the blessing in Cincy is that even if, and I love that we have the common thread. I joined just to get the discount too. And I fell in love with the connections and rekindling friendships and everything it's brought me. That's what's brought me to this point. But man, it's just you can lead. I go back. I got off the phone last night and I told my husband, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't force him to drink. And that just makes me so sad when we do try to plant that seed and they're just not ready for it.
Well, and you know, it's keep sharing, keep offering. It's not a disservice to keep offering it. It's a disservice to not. Ariel asked me for 1 year every 3 months because I had a party once a quarter. My parties were $1,000 or more. And every single time we closed that party, she said, do you want to join? This could be a X amount of paycheck. And I said, nope, I'm good with my other business. That's literally doing nothing right now. I'm okay. I've done lots of direct sales. I'm not ready for another one. But she never stopped asking. And I am so grateful for her for never stopping to ask. And a lot of times when I feel like, oh, I'm being really buggy or I'm going to irritate this person because I keep asking them, I have that in the back of my head and I think of Ariel. And I never felt like she was being pushy. I never felt that she was wanting me to join her team for any other reason than the fact that I'm already getting the sales. I already have the customer base. Why would I not get paid on it? And so she asked me 4 times. And on that 4th time, I finally said, all right, fine. So don't ever stop. We can love them where they're at, but don't ever stop asking her. because one day she may just decide that, you know what, I'm ready. So it's disheartening in the beginning when they say no, and you know that this could be such an opportunity for them, but don't give up on them. If they absolutely put the hammer down, no, do not ask me again. But when have you ever had someone say, don't ask me to join again? I've never had that in 4.5 years. So just, just keep giving her that offer, keep showing her how since
Mhm.
you've blessed her life, the connections that you've made, and maybe one day she'll come to our side.
Well, and that it's perfectly true. And that's everything you just said, how I resonated when I hung up the phone. It's just, you say a little prayer saying, I have a blessing for you. Please just see it, and it's their choice. And
Absolutely.
that's totally, you can't force that. But it's just, and I've reached out to several people in similar different boats, just looking for extra income. And you're right, Brandi, they never say no. And I take that ghost of nothing when they say nothing back is the seed got planted.
That's right. Keep watering it.
Keep
Well,
watering it.
not to cut everybody off, but we don't want to take up all of your time. We are at little after 12. So thank you guys so much for joining us. I think this was an awesome connection call. That's what I come here for. I come for this connection right here. And you guys have literally lit another spark. I'm ready to do my happy mail and get my customers out. And I hope you guys are too. Thank you for joining us, taking an hour out of your week to chat with us.
And Brandi, thank you for doing
Yes.
this on your wedding anniversary.
Oh,
Happy 10
thank
years.
you.
I just had to shout you out because
Thank you.
you could have just said no to Ariel, and this is our day and I'm doing things with my hubby. But thank you for carving time out of your day and sharing hope with each one of us.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you. We will chat next week. Bye.